What's up everybody? In today's video, tearing down the Supra even further. Pretty much everything is coming off the front of this car to get it ready for paint. Follow along and I'll show you the process. I'm starting with taking the quarter panel off. Looks like there's some 10mm bolts in the door jamb. Got my buddy Jacob helping. So let's get these off here. All right, got the passenger side quarter panel off. Kind of hard to film it, but there are 3 screws on that plastic wheel molding. There's the 2 bolts back in the door jamb. There's bolts along the top. You need to take a couple clips out of the fender liner, and then up towards the front, there are 2 bolts in your front support and another bolt there. And then you kind of slide the entire quarter panel forward. All right, both quarter panels are off the car now. So I'm working on the ABS pump. Mr. Jacob over there is taking off all the random stuff. He's working on the igniter, the horn, basically the miscellaneous items. ABS pump is out. It's interesting. There's 4 10mm like rubber bushings that hold it in the car, but the bracket itself is like riveted in, so I'll have to probably drill it out. I told Jacob that the AC system's discharged, but it was really just a prank, so whenever he pulls his hardline off, he's gonna get blasted in the face. Okay, time to go, time to go! Well, I was kidding. I can't believe I still had pressure in it. For the record, I had this car, the AC was professionally discharged, so there must be a check valve in there or something that keeps a little bit of refrigerant. That was quite the experience. Everything turned out just fine.
Then with the hood lights, it just clicked. I'm like, there's 2 hood lights.
Man, she's ready for 200 mph. Making some serious progress here. AC compressor is about to come out, ABS is out. Jacob's got pretty much everything off the front end, the crash bar, the headlight support, the condenser, hood latches, the horn. All this little stuff really adds up. It takes a lot longer than you would think it would, but we're chipping away at it. AC compressor is out, power steering is out. I think we're getting down to pretty much just the wiring, which should be fun. I don't fully know the history of this car. I know it has 55,000 miles and, you know, it's 27 years old. So it sat for quite a while. There's a nice rat's nest in there. And then both quarter panels had quite the rat's nest in it. I'm working on the body plugs now. I'm not 100% sure how they come off, but I think I just need to pull those boots back and then disconnect the plugs. All right, so we got the body plug undone and the grommet out. You just have to pull the grommet from out here. This yellow boot actually goes to the airbag sensor. There is no plug on the inside for that, so we're just gonna leave it in place. I think it'll be fine for the paint. These plugs are somewhat hard to get to underneath the dash. The hardest part is this brown clip that retains these wires. That was not the easiest thing to get out. So now we are gonna be pulling the harness all out of the engine bay. Alright, we just got the body plugs on the driver's side undone. That top white one there is not easy to work with. It's very hard to see in the car, but there is a tab on the top of that plug that you have to press down to pull it out. It's quite hard to get to. Here in the car, there is just not much room that you're working with here. So, best of luck. That's a good idea. I didn't think of that. Just do wireless setup. That was probably by far the hardest part of getting this engine bay cleaned up. I think we might try to remove the brake lines and maybe the brake booster, and ideally the clutch slave needs to come out too. We have the master cylinder out, the rear brake lines are out, so now we're trying to get the front brake lines undone, and we're going to cut the evap line because I'm not using it. Taking out the ABS pump bracket now, so I remove the fender liner, and then there are nuts down here to remove the bracket. We just pulled the drive shaft out of it so we can move it out of the barn here without any issues. And one thing Jacob noticed is there are 2 bolts holding this axle in, and that's it. So I'm not sure what the story is there, but I'm glad we noticed that before I really ripped on this car. Spin around. All right, we're pulling the rear bumper off. There is a 10 millimeter here. Then you have a bunch of like those plastic rivets, and then another 10 millimeter over here. And I'll show the fasteners at the top too.
There's gonna be comments that says, how many people does it take?
To pull the taillights, there are 2 10 millimeter bolts holding it in. It's pretty easy. There are 3 plastic rivets here, 2 10 millimeter bolts on the side, 2 more 10 millimeter bolts inside on each side, and then 3 fasteners underneath. And then the bumper should finally be free. All right, we're working on taking off the spoiler now. So this trim piece is just held on with plastic clips. I'm using a trim removal tool to pull it off there. A little nerve-wracking knowing that Supra trim panels are kind of hard to get your hands on. All right, we got the spoiler off, the bumper off, put the hood back on here so it's easier to transport for paint. Got a lot done today. I know the video makes it look like all this work is really fast, but we've been working for like 9 hours on everything. So, had some good help today. Really excited to get this to the paint shop and see how it turns out. So, appreciate you watching the videos. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're ready to see this thing get painted. Thanks for watching.